So that tank is dried overnight. Now we do the rust blast step. According to the directions, you pour it in and shake it around for like an hour, undiluted. This supposedly acid etches and prepares it for the coating to stick. So this tank is sat for a couple days and is thoroughly dried out. It looks kind of rusty inside, and you get some like rusty powder, but it says it'll coat right over that. It's just kind of it's not really what I would call super thick, crusty rust, but it's kind of like surface rust. It says in the directions to coat it within 10 days of etching it, or of the last step. So we're going to go ahead and try to get that done. Comes with a stir stick. It advises not to shake. Anyway, I'm just following the directions. You want to pull the solids off the bottom to get them distributed, kind of like you would with paint. Because all the good stuff's at the bottom. So I'm going to stir that for a few minutes and get those chunks broken up. Everything's capped off other than the sending unit hole. I'm going to try to send it in through here. And I'm tired of stirring. Well, there's some pretty big chunkies out of there. Put our homemade cap on. Okay, I hope that's going to seal that up. Now we just need to roll this around and distribute that sealer all over everything inside this tank. Unfortunately, you can't see that, so we're just going to have to hope we get all positions and it rolls around enough. So let's just roll this thing around. My concern is this area right here is getting that coated. Not sure the best way to do that. I guess you turn it down and kind of roll into it. And that's what I did with the cleaner, hoping it would puddle down in there and then work it around. Just keep doing this for probably the next 30 minutes. So that's what the directions say to do. That stuff's pretty sticky, so hopefully it'll adhere to all the surfaces. I've been rolling this tank around for like 30 minutes. I can hear stuff dripping and dropping in there. I think I have it everywhere, and pretty much I've lost interest. So, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's dripping down still. I think I have everything coated. It says to drain it and then remove anything, any plugs, whatever you don't want screwed up, because they won't come out or it'll screw up the coating. So I'm going to turn it down this way, pull these plugs out, and then I will drain it out of the filler neck. Sounds like a good plan anyway. And that was a 10. Plug that I made. I probably should have welded a nut on here. It made it a little easier to get off. So that's to drain the excess. I'm going to go ahead and drain it out the filler neck. And that is all fully coated. Yeah, there's some. All right, that's not a lot, so I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes, then I'll try to drain some more. All right. We got it all out. So I'll come out here and rotate this around a few times in the next probably hour. There's a little bit still oozing, but I will roll that around, let that cure. According to the directions, it needs to cure for at least 96 hours, but it'll probably be several weeks before we put fuel back in it. So it's time to put the fuel tank back in. All that rust repair has been completed on a separate video. Hopefully everybody watched it. Here's the fuel tank. I don't know how well you can see the ceiling, but appears to have covered all the surfaces. It certainly had enough time to cure. So we can go ahead and get this thing back in the car. Fuel outlet and screen actually was in pretty good shape, so I'm going to reuse that. That's my gasket from the drain plug, or the other fill plug I use, so I'm going to put that on there. And the optional plug. And the true drain plug. So I think we'll tighten them down and get this set back in the car. Looks about right. There's one of our clamp bolts. Let me find the rest. We'll get that bolted down. the sending unit with a new gasket. Another way to do this is put it on the outside. So kind of on this particular application, that notch is not right. It's just off a little bit. Now they all line up. And you have to line up correctly with the holes in the tank, which that looks to be correct. The gasket's a lot more rubbery and thick than the original one. Put some gas in the top and hope it doesn't come out the bottom. So that should be about 2 gallons. I think I'll let that sit there. Then I need to take the carburetors off, probably, and clean them thoroughly, and then start this whole process over. Car's back together. Washed it, went on a test drive, and was not thrilled with performance. We still had trash in the carburetors. So, cleaned them out once again, and I went back to a smaller idle jet. I'd gone up on it thinking I was running too lean and idle. Went up on it and still didn't run right. So cleaned it out, put the 55s back in. I did start it yesterday, and of course these don't have chokes, so you have to pump the hell out of it, and it's a little cold-blooded. But it started and seemed to run pretty well. It's a nice winter day in the 60s, and I clear everything out, so I'm going to take it for a drive. Let's see how it starts. See if I can do it without getting in the car. As I said, it's a little cold-blooded, so we'll let it warm up and we'll go for a little ride. So I've cleaned the idle jet for number 1 cylinder at least twice. I went back to my original size idle jets from a 62 that I had in there to a 55, which was original. Then I went back to the original main jets, which were from like 152 to 140. That's the most success we've had so far. So I'm getting a little braver here. We're going a little longer drive. Need to work on a better camera mount. Here's as though the odometer's working. most of the time it doesn't. This has been the most successful test drive I've had in a long time. So a few more of these and I may work on some jetting. So I did a few test drives in this car last weekend, a couple cold starts. Did a cold start a minute ago and neglected to get the camera turned on all the way. But I think we're finally done with this project and the running problems on this car. I put the original jets in that were in it before I did the update to the carburetors. Put them back in. It still has the idle modification and the different air correction jet. I did add some more timing to it because it seemed a little flat on some of the hills. So I'll let you listen to it. So I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching, subscribing, commenting, and we'll see you soon on another one.